favorite, right? If that match were to go on, we could probably guess how that's going to go. Almost every match today, Grant, has been unique in a different way. So as we hop into our map here, let's intro our players and then talk a bit about what we know about them and what we don't know about each player.
In the top right, he is the blue Zerg player from Russia. It's KingCobra. Pro Tour player Zerg.
Tricked you, didn't I? And in the bottom left-hand side, in the red, from Gamer's origin, the Frenchman, known for his heroics and his antics. In the heart of the Swarm days, it's Stephano.
I can promise you his antics didn't stop in the heart of the Swarm.
I'm saying he was known for them at that time. I'm sure they didn't stop then, for sure. But Grant, as we said, two players here who have unique and interesting backgrounds, and then some big question marks as well. I think we'll start with the easy one, Stephano. If you've watched StarCraft at all, if you're still watching StarCraft, it's likely you know this player. You remember this player, inventor of the 8-minute Roach Max back in Heart of the Swarm, a player whose dominance on the foreign scene was unmatched for a year or more. Back in the 2014-15 era, I believe.
Yeah, it must have been about then.
And he's just come back to StarCraft lately, and he's shown us that it's a lot like riding a bike. You pick it up, and you get right back on it very quickly. KingCobra, on the other hand, a very different story.
Yeah, and a newer face to the scene. Oh, man, I've got such bad hiccups. We saw him yesterday play up against... Who did he play yesterday? My mind's gone.
Petite Drogo in a PvP.
Petite Drogo in a PvP, and that didn't look fantastic for him. He certainly put up a pretty valiant fight, but it didn't go fantastic. Now trying his hand out in a matchup where maybe he would feel a little more confident in this PvZ, and also against a player where maybe he feels he has a possibility to win. He did go kind of to my surprise for cybernetic score here before the Nexus. Did he scout? He scouted everything as well, so I'm kind of surprised when this Nexus pull. It's typical that you'll go Nexus core, but it looks like we're going to be seeing some adept pressure. What I do? Sorry
to interrupt you, mate. Your voice does seem to be cutting out a little bit. I'm not sure if you want to restart the Discord call or something. You're getting a bit robotic on me every now and again. It seems to be that same problem we had with DreamHack Summer, where it was just a little frustrating. He's saying, I am! It's the Creighton Show, starring me. Okay, I'm done.
I'm back.
Okay, good. You didn't miss anything. I definitely didn't say anything mean about you while you were gone.
I wasn't gone for more than a second. Is that any better?
I heard a bit of crackling, but let's hope it doesn't continue. If it does, I'll let you know. KingCobra, opening of the Stargate opening. It's going to be a Void Ray, Grant?
Not first. Oh my god, it actually is. Typically we see either an Oracle or a Phoenix first to push away Overlords and things like that. But no, KingCobra is embracing it. He's going for it. He's going all in on the madness and going for something a little bit crazy here. We are, of course, seeing that Void Ray coming straight out. And that's something that's going to be seen straight away. And what is Stephano going to do is my concern here. What do you do when you see the Void Rays? Stephano typically makes 150 queens anyway, so I'd expect to see more of that.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right call. More Void Rays, maybe a couple Spore Crawlers if you want that stack defense. Seeing the Void Ray out first, anytime before a week ago, would have raised some significant eyebrows, right? Anybody who went Void Ray first, you were like, oh man, this Silver League cheesing piece of crap is going to do some weird-ass build. And now, with the recent buff to Void Rays that happened just about a week ago, everyone seems to be mixing them into their play a little bit more often than they had in the past, and really showing us that Void Rays can be dangerous, but they're certainly not overpowered, Grant, still very flimsy, and that's why we see Stephano adding on some Queens, because Queens are just the natural predator of Void Rays.
Yeah, you need multiple Void Rays to be able to deal with Queens. Once you get 6 or 7, you're in a pretty good spot. It is going to be the Oracle follow-up here in the Stargate, no longer producing anything here. KingCobra has so much money. Okay, throw down a Twilight Council and a Forge. He had like 800 minerals for a second there, which is surprising. Concentrating more on his micro, it seems, right now. Going to go in with the Oracle, definitely find some damage here. Doesn't want to lose it, though. Very important to keep this tool alive. Offers so much going into the mid-game, and it will live. Stephano going to block the third base for now, but the Void Ray has come home. Okay so far from KingCobra, but look at his minerals.
Look at his minerals. It's like a Zest game up in here. I don't know what's happening here with these Protoss players, banking up a ton of minerals and just not spending them quite in time. Third base going down, which is nice, but he really needs to get some more production facilities. These Lings might force a run by at the third, and if he loses this third base, I think the Void Ray to depth should be enough to taste away. Yeah. Should be okay. But I was going to say, if he loses this third, look at his main base, Grant. What does he have left to fall back on if this third were to go down? He doesn't have very many gateways, right? He's on 2 gateways. He has 1 Stargate. And what are you so concerned about right now?
Glaives? Okay, I don't hate this. Seeing Glaives coming in at this point, it isn't bad. He's used the Stargate opening basically to push back all vision, to force a lot of queens out. And now he's going to go into these Glaive Adepts. And Glaive Adepts trade very well against queens, actually, if you get the numbers. How many gateways do we go to? We're going up to 4. Okay, so we're starting to really look. KingCobra is like hard attacking. He's going Glaives. He's getting a Templar Archive. He's adding gates. He's adding his third, of course. And, yeah, weird build here from KingCobra.
Weird build indeed. Very often we will see, of course, this Glaive Adept follow up to a Stargate opener. But this is just a bit out of season, a bit out of touch, a bit out of the groove for our Russian Protoss player. And it's not that KingCobra is not a great player, because again, these qualifiers are absolutely brutal. It's just that when you're playing at the highest levels of play, there isn't as much room for innovation as there, I mean, not innovation the player, but innovation the concept. There isn't as much room for innovation on these plays. Generally, you're going to see players stick to more established build orders. And Grant, you've been following this Void Ray for the entire game. Is it your hero now?
No, you're not watching my camera.
Oh, I'm not?
No. I was just pointing out Storm as you said that, so I don't think so. We're seeing lots of gateways come down. It looks like KingCobra is going to start mass producing these units. He does have resonating glaives done, but we're seeing there's no glavers. Like,
it's very strange to get an update and then or upgrade, especially one like Glaives that ties up one of your key upgrade centers for so long and then not take advantage of it. It's very. It's like
this is a weird game, man.
It's like I was gonna say something that sound really awful for all of us who are struggling through this job crisis right now, but it's like getting a college degree and then going to work in retail. I know, right?
Hey, this one hurts. Come on.
Dude, Grant, I have 2 college degrees and I'm working in StarCraft, so neither of them.
I have one.
So I can safely say that was just as much a dig at me as it was at everyone else in the terrible economy that we've built these last couple of years. KingCobra trying to build Charge now, and luckily he does have 5 Zealots on the map for Charge. But Grant, I don't know how I feel about this. Stephano has been unharassed this entire game. Look at the units lost tab. 3 drones is not enough early game damage.
No, KingCobra has, he has a pretty okay army, but I wouldn't by any means say it's great. He's getting air weapons now, but he's not producing air units.
All right, so I don't know what hacker took over Bly's account earlier today and played those 2 wacky games 1 and 3, but the same unnamed hacker has clearly stolen KingCobra's account and is just choosing random upgrades, going up to a fleet bacon as well. So get those riddles ready, chat, because there's going to be some very confusing bacon coming at you very soon. Is he going into carriers from here? I mean, that's odd. Oh, God.
I don't know what's happening. This isn't even StarCraft anymore.
We gotta get one of those internet soundboards, Grant. We can get Bronze League heroes going at the top of this. This is so interesting. I mean,
he's still at 75 workers. KingCobra still has +1/+2 on the way, as well as +1 air weapons. He's going into carriers. My concern, or he's going into most likely a carrier-based game, I would imagine. I don't think we're going to see suddenly Void Rays being produced. Yep, there's a double carrier. My concern is that Stephano has a very big window that he can hit. Baneling's running in, finding 11 probe kills. We have another counterattack to the north. This is not really even a counterattack, it's more an army. And Stephano has been completely unharassed, as we said. And he is the kind of player you do not want to let get all of this tech.
And this is the weak point. KingCobra losing 11 probes there. I mean, this is the weak point for Protoss anyway. In a normal game, even if the Protoss is in a really strong position, the transition to carriers is very difficult, right? You got to get the fleet beacon down, you got to invest in the extra Stargate, and the carriers aren't that scary at 1 or 2 carriers. So this attack from Stephano coming at a great time.
These storms have been underwhelming, to say the least. Stephano is He's just dodging absolutely everything. The Baneling's getting the connections now with all the High Templars. There's no more Storms. Stephano A moves forward with all of these units. A couple of carriers will pop out, and that is going to be the saving grace here for KingCobra. But a 50 supply lead right now for Stephano. Link's coming in, and the downside of carriers is they're very slow. And Stephano, he's even in this number, he's going to stand and fight the interceptors. He is killing them off. There's next to none left. And now what is left for KingCobra? He's trying to warp in desperately. Stephano making nothing but Hydras. Look at the parade push across the map as the Zerg swarms towards his prey. And I'm starting to get a little bit worried right now for our Protoss.
I will say the only saving grace right now is that Stephano doesn't have any overseers on the map. So when the Mama ship pops out, that may buy KingCobra just a little bit of time, but he's on 30 workers. He's depowered these gateways. The Archons aren't even barely going to finish before they get explodinated by those Zerglings. And sure, the Hydralisk count has gotten a little bit smaller for Stephano, but the creep spread is insane, already pushing on the 4th base of KingCobra, and KingCobra is going to lose this 4th base.
Yeah, Stephano at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to the 3 of his opponent. This game didn't. I can be honest. I'm not certain what KingCobra wanted to do. I think he wanted to play very, 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 very greedily. He got the glaives just in case he needed to defend, maybe. And then his plan was to go into carriers AS, A, GD, MF, and P. But it just didn't work. And now Stephano's getting his Spire. Is that second Spire? Second Spire for double air upgrades. He's got everything he needs. His economy through the roof, nearly double the drone count. Man, I'm just
really not sure. For those of you wondering, maybe if you're unused to our UI there at the bottom of the screen, you may be a little confused as to what those red arrows are on the screen between the minerals and gas of each player. And that's just a quick visual indicator of which player is slightly ahead or slightly behind in the income game. So we can see that Stephano is, I believe the first one is 150, the second one is 300, and the fourth one is 450. I think those numbers are correct. I'm not actually sure.
Yeah,
but the more arrows pointing toward a player, the higher their income is over time than the opponent. So that
Would you do me a favor, Creighton? Would you open the income graph or Control I for, just to see the pure mineral and gas income in comparison?
2100 advantage per minute right now for Stephano as compared to KingCobra.
It's red.
It's purple, Grant.
It's everything.
It's red and
blue,
purple.
I'll tell you that.
Like a very confused college sports team that doesn't know what color it wanted its mascot to be. It's chosen purple and red, which go terribly together. But for Stephano, it's going to be the killing blow. The creep now pushing up against the 4th base of Cobra. And as soon as Stephano gets an overseer out here, it's going to be he's got 4 overseers. Oh my god, there's nothing that could go wrong right now. It would take a miracle for KingCobra to come back in this game.
Yeah, KingCobra needs to get maxed somehow. I mean, yoink! See ya, mama. Oh, I tried to recall.
Get those -400s in the chat. Yeah. Rip the mothership. And Grant, there's not much more to say. I mean, it would take some miracle storms, but KingCobra has yet to land one good storm this game.
No, like dropping this many on lurkers. Yeah, there's the GG, and Stephano takes game 1.
A really, really rough start for our Russian player who went 0-2 yesterday against Petit Drogo. Petit Drogo, of course, one of those matches where we talked about it. It was one of those games where it was pretty clear who was going to win, right? Drogo, just a stronger player than KingCobra. And he played really well. He had some good flashes of brilliance, but not enough to do it. This game, or this series, I was hoping might be a little bit closer. But right now, Grant, it's looking at KingCobra is just going to be outmatched. If he can't face up against Stephano in a long macro game, I'm really concerned for him for the rest of this tournament.
Yeah. I find this crazy. When I saw him against Drogo's PvP is arguably, outside of Showtime, the best in Europe. Maybe even on that level. It feels like his PvP is an insanely good matchup, and it was one-sided. And I don't want to sit here and just rag on KingCobra.
No, not at all.
Getting spanked. He qualified. He went through. All of these, let's look at players who didn't qualify. Rail. I've forgotten who else.
Poppy Joe. Peach, that Team GP player who's been making super deep runs. Damaga. Spatz, who was in DreamHack Summer and didn't qualify. Creed, the Russian Terran player. Rotterdam. Ever heard of him?
Yeah. Ours.
B, the Russian Zerg player. B, who is terrifyingly good. So he won through those qualifiers, which are single elimination, brutal qualifiers. A great player, just maybe a little bit nervous on the main stage, maybe not bringing 100% today, but he's got another chance here in game 2. And I think, well, I was going to give my opinions, but Grant, what do you think he needs to do in game 2 to come back?
Be better. Can I see that?
Better. The Melania Trump special for KingCobra. Be best. Be best for KingCobra. That'll work. Map number 2 going to be Ice and Chrome LE. We are loading in right now. Oh, right. Grant can't talk sometimes during his transition, so we are loading in right now.
I was messing with you that time. I was there the whole time. The top right. He is the Russian player in the blue, trailing in the series. Got a lot to play for still, though. It's KingCobra.
And his opponent in the bottom left-hand side looking for a clean win to put himself up 2-0 in match score in Group A, which will be a really nice start. It's our French Zerg player. You may know him as Elias. I know him as Stephano.
So one thing I do know about KingCobra is the boy likes a cannon. I don't know if he's going to do it today. Yeah, he definitely is. No, he's going gateway. Come on, give the boys what they want. So Stephano has once again gone hatch. Completely unfazed by that game. If I'm Stephano right now, I am confident. Someone in chat. No, I think maybe you understand. He definitely didn't go 2-0 against Petit Drago. I feel so bad for KingCobra because I hate to see a mismatch. But that last game was rough.
Yeah, rough is the most polite way to talk about that last game, unfortunately, for KingCobra. Let's see what happens here in game 2. Looks like standard openings on both sides, and you know, I kind of expected Stephano was one of those players, and I don't know if his demeanor has changed at all. But back in the old glory days of Stephano, if he thought that he was up against a weaker opponent, he was very, very quick to say, you know what, 12 pool, Ling Rush. If I'm going to beat you, I can just smack you down right here. There's no, I'm thinking of like 1,000 different quotes about war, but there's no honor in war. You know, Stephano just wanted to win however he could. This game, though, it seems like he's playing it a little bit safer. I wonder if maybe he saw something last game in Cobra's play where he has commanded a bit of respect from our French player.
Yeah, quite possibly, you could be completely correct. I also feel like Stephano, he isn't quite at the level he once was. That's a very fair assumption. At one point, arguably the best player on the planet. He's not quite there now. Still, obviously, an incredible player, qualifying back-to-back to these events. I believe he got very close, if not qualified, last time, right?
Who's Stephano?
Yeah, for the for the playoffs.
Oh, for the playoffs. I think he.
I think he came out. Actually. I think he was 5th, but I'm not sure.
Really interesting question. Let me check on that because that's a really interesting indicator of where these players have been.
Yeah.
So Stephano actually was in 7th in his group, but he did go 2-5 with a pretty responsible map score. In fact, he was only 1 series away from qualifying. That group was so tight last time. Stephano was 2-5. Marine Lord was 3-4 and qualified. So Stephano, very scary right now. And as someone pointed out in chat, he's at like 6.6k MMR right now on the ladder. Not a pushover by any means, but KingCobra has his work cut out for him.
Creighton Olsen gives me Christian Bale from American Psycho vibes. Well, that's terrifying.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Grant? I can do it. While the Void Ray comes out, wait. I live in the American Gardens building.
Oh, what the fuck?
Street. Every morning, I can't believe that Riggins thinks that his card is better than mine.
That's not good, man.
I love it. I love it.
Do you... I can't say that. Void Ray once again here from Stephano. Going to take down one Overlord. Oracle follow-out. So Stephano playing against the exact same thing he saw in game 1. That's weird. I'm getting...
Do you like Huey Lewis in the news?
Oh.
Their older stuff is a bit too new wave for my taste. But with the release of their most recent album, Sports, in '84, I really think they came into their own. The whole album has a clear, crisp sound. Is that enough, or do you want more?
No, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
It's a great movie. One of my favorites.
It is a great movie.
Terrifying for the time. I recall a lot of literary... Anyway,
it's terrifying now.
Void Ray going down. Interesting choice from KingCobra, though. Look at that Forge in his main base. Grant, Does this make any sense at all?
I think he just wants to try some upgrades, to be honest with you, mate. It's very quick. How many gates is he on? 2 gates forge. It's not too bad, but the third is hiccup. Going to be a little bit later.
Interesting choice to delay the third in favor of that +1 upgrade. As you said, a very early +1 upgrade. Nice little Oracle spot here. Only 1 kill, though. Nice saves by Stephano. But yeah, very interesting choice by KingCobra to go for the +1. I was going to say the +1, it hasn't actually started yet, but to go for that forge, usually you'll see Protoss players prioritizing the third base. So KingCobra might be going for pressure sooner rather than later.
Yeah, charge on the way here as well. Very, very quick to start charge off at the 5-minute mark. Templar guys, he techs so hard. He never ever harasses. 1 Oracle with 1 kill isn't harassment, you know? It's not like he's got a prism. It's not like he's gone for glaive adept and actually gone across the map. What pressure is he putting on? He's not, and Stephano will just drone. Stephano's making a bunch of Hydras now, just to be completely safe. But behind this, I really wouldn't be surprised to just see him press S, press D, go up to 80 drones, and do the exact same thing he did last game.
Yeah, already Hydralisk's on the way. It's like Stephano is seeing the future here. He's seen what KingCobra did in the past, and he's just extrapolating yet again. And yeah, as you said, KingCobra getting all this tech, but look at his army supply right now, 19 to 46. And I know, of course, Zerg players are going to swell up in supply just a little bit more than Protoss players. But 19 army supply is just straight up not enough.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Is Stephano just going? Yeah, he is. Stephano's had enough. Queens moving across the map. Waddle, waddle, ladies and gentlemen. They're coming. They're pretty slow. Come on, you can do it.
Come on, gals. Come on, gals. Off creep. Oh, bless their hearts. Little queens. But 3 queens now. The transfuse energy on those queens actually quite low, but they will be useful in picking down the Void Ray because the Hydralisk count not quite at critical mass yet.
Now, charge is done, but and +1 is close, but we're still only at 27 army supply here for our Protoss player, who I honestly don't believe has any idea this is coming. And now we can see the first Hydras coming in. They're going to be able to take down these units very, very quickly. Now, Storm is done, and that's actually pretty good against what we're seeing here. Stephano dodging the first Storm, only 1 Hydra taking it. Second one, a little bit more on point, still not perfect. And now there are no more Storms. There's a good amount of batteries, though. A couple of Storms, it does look like in the back.
Yeah, that's going to force Stephano back to a fight outside the auspices of those shield batteries, but he is still here. There's 1 Storm that has finally hit a couple units. My God.
They tank him for years.
Yeah. The Void Race here, the Queen count getting a little bit lower here. This actually might be a hold from KingCobra. Stephano losing an awful lot here, and charge lots will clean it up, so a bit of an ill-advised push. But look at the production tab right now, and look at KingCobra's mineral count.
What? Am I playing this game? It's like my game. Stephano actually not putting a big onus on to creep this game. He's only got that 1 channel really going up through the middle, another one starting to build off here to the south. We do have Zealots running by, moving across the map, but reinforcements already on the way. I don't think Stephano is massively concerned. His Queen count is still at 3.
He's doing it again, Grant.
Doing it again.
Look at the production tab.
Oh, I see
KingCobra. So chat, again, get your griddles ready. Get your -400s ready. Do all the chat's traditions that we always do every time a Protoss player is ill-advisedly going for a fleet beacon before they can really support it. Look, you can do this on 3 bases, but only if you're in a very strong position. He's trying to add on a second Stargate, and I'm really worried.
KingCobra's work account is pretty good. Finally doing a good job of blocking the 4th attempt here with 1 Ling. It will eventually go down and we should see that 4th happen. KingCobra, so I get what he's trying to do. He wants to get all of the supportive units before he goes into that hyper late game comp. He's trying to get to the hyper late game comp, really not hyper late game. Storm, Mothership, High Templars, Archons, Zealots to buffer and run by, but it leaves you very vulnerable.
And Stephano is doing that Overseer in the main base is going to see that fleet beacon. If we check Stephano's vision, I believe he now knows that carriers are on the way.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Yep, sees everything. You can see the shape of the carrier as well here.
Interesting response to double carrier fleet beacon, by the way, from Stephano to double expand down to the 7 o'clock position and up at the 10 as well. What do you think about Stephano's choice here to try and economize his way out of this?
He's at 92 drones, so he needs it to even support his economy. Yeah, but I like it. Stephano knows from the last game KingCobra never moved up. He just doesn't he sits back. He's going to sit back and try and get his fourth so he can afford to... He's getting the mothership after just 2 carriers? That's so mad. Mothership suck. Stephano adding in a couple of lurkers now, and I'm very worried we're going to see a repeat. We can already see yoinkers being added to the fray. 2-2 on the way here for Stephano as well, so he will have an upgrade lead. We haven't seen any air... Oh, yes, we have. +1 air upgrade is done here for our Protoss.
Did you just call Vipers yoinkers?
Yeah, that's what I call them.
All right, I'm doing that from now on. I usually say yoink, but I don't ever call them yoinkers.
No, they're yoinkers.
That makes them sound like halfway between a wanker and an oinker.
You can't say... Well, I mean, you can, but...
I'm American. It's a weird Britishism, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like you guys don't say... No, I can't.
Yeah, so cultural differences that we'll hash out off stream when we're not being recorded, definitely, because that'll only be clipped to come back and haunt us. Well, look at this carrier count now. At 2, going up to 4, which is a good start, right? Because KingCobra needs to get up to critical mass of carriers. Last game, we saw this Hydra push from Stephano happening when KingCobra had about 2 carriers on the map. And of course, we both said 2 carriers, not scary. A handful of Hydras to even pick on the interceptors one by one. And now he's going to have 4 out, working on 5 and 6.
Yeah, this is... Stephano has given time, and I think a lot of it is due to there's just not really been creep this game. I think Stephano's fatal push was maybe a bit cheeky. I kind of think he underestimated his opponent and thought, I'll just kill him or what got. Like, he didn't go, okay, I'm going to all in and kill him. He was just like, a few queens, 6 hydras, we pop to the shops. Stephano's defending very well all of his counter pressure. We do have DTs coming in shortly, and I imagine we will see Shadow Stride, double Spire on the way as well. Stephano knows what he's playing against. I mean, he's got Lings literally underneath it. And he is doing a good job of defending. I like what KingCobra's doing, though. He's keeping Stephano back. And the counter count, once it gets to 6 with +2, that is scary.
Look at the drone count right now for Stephano.
87. Super high. Super high. And that's adding spines. Double Spire. He was in the 90s previously. Stephano now moving out.
Workers as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's definitely going to win the ground fight because Lurkers are sick. Stasis Ward's going down. I like that here from Mr. Cobra. Lurkers are going to start powering away. We see the air army coming in. This is a scary force. With high campers underneath it. You don't want to storm the Lurkers. They take like 4 storms.
Yeah. He does have a ton of storms. Look at all those Templars. There's the yoink. Luckily, that's amazing, actually. That slowing zone going to help out a huge amount. Time Warp actually paying off in this push.
Yeah.
That allows KingCobra to clear off almost all the lurkers, and Stephano's going to have to morph in a couple more if he really wants to sustain this damage. He's only got 4 down right now, but Hydras are still really scary, especially with Stephano working on that +3/+3 right now.
Yeah. Absolutely decimating these warp-in lines. The carriers are sitting very, very well defended. Lurkers still standing strong are able to zone off these High Templars, and if they walk in, High Templars go down after just 2 carrier spines, I believe, maybe 3 at this point. Stephano is adding in 25 Corruptors. He was just trading that supply.
Yep, I think he absolutely was, because every Zerg player knows ideally you want to have just enough gas and minerals in the bank to throw away your entire army and rebuild a new one, and then you want to engage when you've got just enough to do that whole process over again. Stephano way ahead in the income graph, 1,300 minerals and gas per minute more than KingCobra right now, and KingCobra not even maxed out. In fact, I don't think we saw KingCobra maxed out last game either.
No. And his back is mad as well, at 1k, nearly 2k. He's just trying to make carriers. Is he still only on 2 Stargates? I would say if he is, I'm looking now, yeah, I take that's a mistake. He can definitely support 3, maybe 4 at this point. I mean, just look at the money. Stephano going to dodge the storms. He now has a very, very strong army in position. Nice revelation going to come down just to keep track of everything. But, I mean, the Corruptors and the Yoinkers just looking for that angle at the moment. KingCobra's doing a surprisingly good job of defending. This is much better than what we saw in game Pickup 1.
Yeah. Much better than what we saw in game
Stephano
number
has
1.
the map.
Yeah, the storms are what's really concerning me from KingCobra right now. For those of you who don't play Protoss, there are generally two reasons that you'll put down a storm. The first reason, of course, try and land it on a clump of units to do damage. The second reason is that you often want to zone out units, right? You want to prevent those Hydras from getting into position. You want to make drive. You won't get a lot of damage done, but you want to drive them back out of the position. And right now, KingCobra, I think about 95% of his storms have been positioning storms rather than damage storms, which is why if we look at the resources lost tab, it is in favor of KingCobra just a little bit, but not to the degree that you would expect it to be in a PvZ. I usually tell my viewers that you want to be at about a 2 to 3 ratio of units lost for an efficient PvZ. And right now, KingCobra's just not taking the best fights. These Corruptors, so scary, Grant.
Yeah, KingCobra is certainly not dead, by no means. His army is mad. Oh my god, yoinkity doinkity. We see a few carriers pulled in. Corruptors dodging the storms. The storms just haven't been on point. He's storming instead the ground units, whereas these Corruptors really need to storm. They get on top of all the carriers. You can see as my FPS goes to pot, everything starts to fall. KingCobra down to below 100 supply, and GG, Stephano takes a series.